Okay, lesson 64. We're going to start off talking about some complex fractions. So you have a fraction divided by a fraction here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a common denominator in the top one. So you do 1 times q, get q, plus p times p, which is p squared, over p times q. Now you've got your common denominator, and it's being divided by this fraction. So anytime you have something divided by a fraction, we do keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep the top, we're going to change the division to multiplication, and we're going to flip the bottom. So this just comes over, it becomes multiplication, and flip the bottom, q over 2. These q's cancel, so you'll have q plus p squared over 2p. Okay, let's look at another one. This one starts off, and you have to get a common denominator in the top and in the bottom. So put that over 1, and in the top you're going to have d times c, dc, plus 1 times 3 over 1 times c. And that's the top. In the bottom you're going to have d squared times c squared, plus 1 times 2 over 1 times c squared. Then we're going to do keep, change, flip. Keep the top the same, change it from division. You know, that's what a fraction is. A fraction is division. Change it from division to multiplication and flip the bottom. And then this one and this one reduce down to just that. So you've got this times that over this. Okay, now moving on to complex numbers. We're going to do FOIL just like we do with other things. So negative 2 times 4, and negative 2 times 6i is negative 12i. 5i times 4 is 20i, and 5i times 6i is 30i squared. These are like terms. You can add those up. This is an I right here. So you have negative 8, added those up, got 8i. This is a negative 1. When you multiply that, you get negative 30. So now you're going to add this one and this one together. Get negative 38 plus 8i. Okay? Whenever you have a square root like this, the first thing you need to do is pull the negative out as an I. So this becomes the square root of 5i, and that becomes the square root of 3i. And we're going to multiply those together. So we get the square root of 15i squared. I squared is negative 1, so it becomes negative square root of 15. On this one here, you want to break each one of these i's into I squared components. Now what does that mean? Well, if I have I to the 7th, I can make it I to the 2nd, 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 and 1st. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 7. Each one of those to the I squares is a negative 1. So this part right here is going to be negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1, which is equal to negative 1. So times 5 times I, you get negative 5i. This one has it to the 6th power, so there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 of these 2's. Each one is a negative 1. That's going to be a negative 1, just like we said. Times 4 is minus 4. This one's going to be 2. And then we want to take this negative out as an I. The square root of 16 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, so we have 8i. This one we're going to do like that one up there. Square root of 4i, square root of 4i. Square root of 4 times square root of 4 is square root of 16, which is 4. I squared, I times I is I squared. That's a negative 1, so that's a negative 4. Now I went ahead and I added those together and got 3i and brought the negative 4 down. And again, that's negative 4. Then add those together. So you get negative 8 plus 3i. Remember, the I term needs to be last. Let's flip it over. And on this one, we're going to do distributive property. This is 4i. We're going to multiply it to negative 7i. You get negative 28i squared. 4i times negative 1 is negative 4i. Negative 7 times 1 is negative 7. Negative 7 times 2i is negative 14i. This I squared is a negative 1, so you multiply to that, you get a positive 28. If I add these two together, I get negative 18i, and I've still got this negative 7. When I add these two together, I get 21. So you get 21 minus 18i. So rewind and watch this as many times as you need. I hope that's helpful.